it. Now it's on. All right. Hold on. Let me see. There's you. Damn. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, ladies. I don't know either one of you. Can I get one of your names? Steph. Steph? All right, Steph. Because I know all of these other people. Right now, I'm pretty much going to be talking to you, okay? And it's not that I'm picking on you. It just it makes me a little more comfortable. And Chad and Annie, could you guys come down a little bit? You're making me nervous just sitting back there. Really, everybody's like, I can't even see you. You're being ridiculous. At least Cool Jenny knew where to sit. See, it's what I'm saying. You're right there. All right, you guys. Again, I am Jody Bernadette Thomas. I'm an absolute bitch, and I'm also a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. So I have a whole bunch of notes here, but I'm probably not going to use them very much. More than anything, I'm a professional storyteller. So I have some stories to tell you. But first, before you guys start going, why is she referring to herself as a bitch over and over again? The reason is I'm a bitch with a capital B. There's a big difference between a bitch with a capital B and a bitch with a lowercase b. A bitch with a lowercase b thinks that the world owes her something. Thinks that, oh my God, I stubbed my toe on my coffee table, so now I have to call the company and get a refund. A bitch with a capital B is not afraid to tell you how she feels, but she's also not afraid to stand up for you when you need support. She has your back if needed. Example, okay. So, hold on, the bitch is coming out. Which I guess is a good thing, but you know. So, just an example. There are things, now there's Karen. There's Karen, that's a lowercase b bitch. And then there's full-on Jody, because bitches get shit done. And it's not just complaining about things, bitches get shit done. Probably like last month or something like that, doesn't matter. I put something up on my bitch as well, that my husband was gone and I had started my period. All right, okay. Don't get uncomfortable, guys, but whatever, because there's going to be more of that to come. Then I started my period, and I was out of tampons. Within 30 minutes, at my door were tampons, tea, like chamomile tea, chocolate, and a little bit of, like a little thing for your back, for a heater for your back. Bitches get shit done when it needs to get done. But they do it, bitches with capital B, they do it in a polite way. If you were ever in trouble and you called me, I'd say within a day, I would have 10 different options of how to handle your problem. And some of my bitches are here, so they can say that. So I just want to make sure that I am not downgrading myself. I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm a bitch with a capital B and proud of it. My shoes do say bad bitch. All right. On another note, thank you guys very much for coming out. But you did come to see a show called A Bitch Like Me. So there's a good chance you're going to get offended by something tonight. And if you want to walk out, that's fine. Breakthrough already has your $15, so it doesn't bother me. But when I did Confessions of a Party Girl, people were walking out a lot. But when you go to something that says Confessions of a Party Girl, you would think that you would know what you were getting into. I'm not doing it on purpose, but we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to get down raw about me and my life and how I became a bitch like me. So that's all. I want to give that warning. All right. Everybody having fun yet? Woo! Woo! All right. Just because my adopted mom and my kindergarten teacher are here, don't think I'm not going to get nasty. All right. They are both here, and I will tell you, having a couple drinks with your adopted mom or your kindergarten teacher is kind of an excellent thing if you ever get the chance. And that is one of the luckiest things, but they know me. The rest of you, I'm not apologizing, but yeah. So speaking of my adopted mom, you ready, Sandy?
No.
Because she's already read this. What happened, how this whole thing came about is that years ago, Wade sent out something for writers, Wade the owner, and sent out something for writers saying, I need monologues about how it feels to be a woman. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm on it. Sure, I got it. I wrote 7. He was asking for 1. I wrote 7. And then I was like, well now, that play never happened. So I just was like, well now I have to make it my own thing. But I am 48 years old and memorization is not the best thing anymore. So, and by the way, just a little tip, if you have 4 shows in 1 week that you had 3 weeks to put together, don't go out till 2 o'clock in the morning as a 48-year-old woman drinking with the cast from last night, because I'm still kind of feeling it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But again, so, talking about those women. We all know those women. There are nothing against them, bless them, but we're all jealous of those women, aren't we, Steph? There are these women who just seem to have it all together. They seem to have, like, everything figured out, where me, my pants are usually hemmed with safety pins, and I'm lucky if I remember to eat lunch. But those women are the ones that you're like, oh. You go to your kids' soccer practice, and they have all the healthy snacks. They have the orange slices, and they have the, ooh, here's some fruit snacks. We're just like, look, I bought cupcakes from Publix. I don't know. Just something for you guys. Yeah, those women. And we've already mentioned Sandy, and I love you, Sandy, but that's my adopted mom. This woman, she has everything. Like, my husband and I have been married for 10 years. Almost 10 years, but we forgot a long time ago to send the thank you cards. This woman just sends a card because it's Arbor Day. and she has the return slip address things with, like, so it's your birthday? Okay, so there's a birthday cake. It's Halloween, there's a little pumpkin. It's Christmas, there's Arbor Day. Not gonna lie, there was a fucking tree on it. So these are the women that make you feel bad about yourself. They make you feel like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? What is, I need to step up my game. Because anytime you see them, they show up in their super big princess, gonna show off to you style. But that's not really what they're doing. Because the worst thing about these bitches, with a capital B, because even if they're not in my bitches, it's still a capital B. The worst thing about these bitches is they are the nicest people. They really are. You get a stain on your shirt and bam! They got one of those little tie things. They got that. You have a little bit of here, can I give you a lozenge? It's a lot to keep up with. And I know I'm not the only mom in this room that felt like you had to keep up with these women. But at the same time, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. I have a glass shower. One of those big glass showers, so big that when we first moved into the house, we fit 20 people into it. Not joking. But it is funny because that's just something I do. You know, how many people can we fit in this shower? And it was a sell point when we bought the house. However, I fucking hate that shower. I hate it. It is cold and miserable. I have very thick hair. Having to take a shower or shave any of my many bits that are supposed to get shaved, I am freezing my ass off. My husband doesn't mind because he barely has hair and he doesn't really need to shave anything that he gets goosebumps on when he's in the very cold shower. I hate the shower. So this thing that in movies has been a fantasy in real life is just as dark and angry as the rest of us. So those women, deep down, are just as flawed. And that's something we have to remember when we're sitting looking at the woman who is always dressed to the nines and you're just sitting there going, I'm glad I brushed my teeth today. They have their flaws too. And then a couple years ago, now I'm not making fun of Sandy because she's my adopted mom, but I'm just using as an example. I always felt like I had to live up to her because I used to date her son, but that was like a lifetime ago, doesn't even count. I always felt like I had to live up to her and be this perfect woman. I'm never going to be that perfect woman. It's just not going to happen. I'm just going to be perfectly Jody. And so, for years, her son that I dated is now he's my best friend, and we've been friends for 30 years. And when my mom passed away, she was nice enough to take me in as her adopted child. It used to be that she was my bonus mom, but now it's been so long that it's just mom. And, but I always felt like I needed to compete with her. And then one day, I don't know, a while ago, I had the flu, and my daughter came in because I was in the kitchen making dinner. And she came in and she said, Mom, how do you do this? How do you do all this? I was like, what are you talking about? And so it was like, well, you have the flu. You still managed to get me to dance class and get me to school, get me home from school, and if I felt like you did right now, and now you're in the kitchen making dinner. And I was like, well, if I don't do it, who's going to? And it came at me like a rocket that at that point, maybe not always, but at that point, I was one of those women to my daughter. I was one of those that seemed like they had it all together. And then I stopped being so jealous of my adopted mom. I just instead tried to continue to be Jody. Speaking of imperfect Jodies. Anyway, so we all get that green-eyed monster. We all get, I wish my life was like that person, or I wish I had it all together. But we're all just trying to do the best we can every day. And that's what I hope that one of the things I hope you guys take away from tonight, because we can only do so much. We can only be so fantastic. And you want to know something awesome? Every once in a while, my adopted mom calls me for advice. As does my kindergarten teacher. So we learn as we get older. All right, enough. Oh, yes. All right. Oh, wait. Nope. Before I go on to that, you guys, I really, over here, I'm going over here. I really think something happened to the men who live in my house. Steph, I'm not kidding. Okay, I live with 3 grown men, all over 40. I was lucky enough to get 2 shows into Breakthroughs Festival this weekend with 3 weeks to do it. So I've been a little busy. But I think something happened because I left the dishwasher door open with a couple dirty dishes in it the last time I had time to do the dishes. And Steph, you want to guess what's in my sink right now? And you want to guess what's not in my dishwasher right now? So I really think somebody broke their hands or something, because I'm really worried about them. I haven't seen them. I've been busy. I've been working, and I've been working on these plays, and I get worried, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta go to rehearsal, So I hope everybody's okay. But yeah, still 3 weeks. 3 weeks of just. And I do it on purpose. Like, I'll do the dishes, and it's not just this week. It's not just this month. I do it on purpose just to see what happens. So I'll do the dishes, leave it open. Maybe they'll trip over it and notice, hey, it's empty. Or, hey, there's some dishes with a little bit of dirtiness on them, so maybe that means that it's dirty. Yeah, no, it doesn't happen. So, okay, now that we know that hopefully everybody's okay, let's talk about tampons. You ready? Everybody ready? All right, Liam, you're not much gonna care, but the majority of you guys are gonna. Well, luckily there's only a few men here, but yeah. So I'm gonna tell. Since there's only a few men here, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Don't tell anybody I told you this, because If you do, they'll take away my woman card or some bullshit like that. But somewhere in, I'm going to say less than a mile vicinity, right this second, there is a woman in a bathroom stall, be it a grocery store or a bar or a restaurant or whatever, who, motherfucker, started her period and wasn't expecting it. And has no idea what to do. Just like I was saying about when I started my period. Because that shit comes whenever, it doesn't, I don't know a single woman who is on the proper cycle, like every 27 days. It comes when it wants to, and as hard as it wants to. But there's a woman in a bathroom stall, hold on, this is no fun without a little bit of this. Okay, there's a woman in a bathroom stall with either her dress up here or her pants down her ankles going, fuck! And then you go, right, oh, I didn't even bring my purse because I just had to pee, so I left it with my husband. I don't have my emergency tampon from my purse, so now what do? So you're just sitting there going, waiting for somebody else to come into the stall. And then, and it should not be embarrassing. It's a natural thing, but we all feel so embarrassed. It's like, hey, I hear somebody coming in. Do you happen to have a spare tampon? Or a pad? Or, I could put toilet paper in, but I forgot to wear underwear today, so I don't know. I need something to start stopping this stuff up. And other secret man, I don't care who you are. You could be the queen, obviously, before she died, but you could be the princess of somewhere, whatever. You could be Cinderella, and as soon as you hear that call, every woman in the general space will go, okay, hey, do you have a tampon? do you have a pad? Do you have something? Because I have somebody I've never met. Do you have this? Seriously, I have a stranger in need, but we will all come together. This is like the most sistership ever that you will only know when you need a tampon. But I don't care. There was one time, I happened to be at a bar. I know, it's surprising. But I happened to be at a bar who fucked my ex-boyfriend from like high school. And I wanted to stab her eyes out with a grapefruit spoon for a long time. But she happened to be in the stall next to me, and she's like, you got a tampon? And I was like, well, you know what? Yes, I do. And I went to my car to get it for her. I didn't have it in my purse. I went to my car because all women have an emergency one in their glove compartment. One in their purse, one in their glove compartment. The only problem is when we do loan those to people, we forget to replace them. So then we become the women in the stall. So next time, gentlemen, your significant other or just your friend or anybody on the planet says, hey, can you go grab me tampons? She's not just getting them for her. She's getting it for a whole community. All the men good and uncomfortable because I talk so much about tampons, because I got other stories. I mean, we can continue with the tampon stories. I have quite a few. Because I'm not afraid of tampons. I did whip mine out once and smack somebody in the face with it, but there was tequila involved.
Only once.
Cool. That's yeah. Good point. Alright, now we'll get a little serious. It's been about 6 years since I stopped actively hating my father. And I use the word father very loosely, because I never met the man. There are Olin Mills pictures of my mom, me, him, his first wife, my stepbrother, and my half brother that I was raised with. So that's how I knew he existed. I hate this man. Not only because, but how do you hate somebody that you never met? Or you met when you were a year old, and obviously I'm never gonna remember that. You hate him because, well, personally, I can't tell everybody else's story, I'm just telling mine. I hated him because my mom hated me as I grew older, because the red hair and the chin dimple, and I grew up to look like him, and he had left her, and she was heartbroken. He was the love. When she died at 63, she would always still, after 5 marriages, she would always still say that he was the love of her life. I don't know why, because I've never heard a good thing about the man, but whatever, I came, so that works out nicely. But I just hated him because she would get mad at me because as I grew older, and because I looked like him, and she'd go, sleep on the porch, you're ugly. We'll get to my mom's problems in a minute, but right now we're just talking about my dad, or my sperm donor. And when I was 21, I did a research situation because I wanted to meet him. And I called everyone in the Atlanta, Georgia area with the last name Thomas I could think of. Or I could, at the time. Now, when I was 21, okay, let's talk about my age, all right? Oh, but not too. So, time there was a phone book, so I could get a Marietta, Georgia phone book and find Arlene Thomas, which was my grandmother. And I got on the phone with her, and I said, "Hi, I'm trying to get a hold of. Well, I know that Stanley died, but I have pictures of my brother Rusty, and I'd like to meet him." And she immediately hung up the phone and said, "Stan never had a daughter named Jody." And I made 50 more phone calls, and I finally got a hold of my cousin Rex, who is the biggest redneck you would ever, Marietta, Georgia, biggest redneck you would ever think of, and but the biggest teddy bear on the planet. And he answered the phone. "Hello?" "What? No, girl, no. I remember going to your 4th birthday." And somebody finally justified that I existed. Because when my father left, or when Stan left my mother, he just told his whole family that I wasn't his, that Mom had cheated on him, and that was his way of justifying leaving his pregnant wife. So then I became this big old thing, and meeting my brother Rusty, not the one I grew up with, that's my brother Rob, and I love him with all my heart, but my brother Rusty, you could put 100 people in a room and go, "Okay, pick out Jody's brother. You'd get Rusty the first shot. You get my brother Rob, the one I grew up with, would be the last shot. He, in 100 men, you would never think that he was my brother. But he is. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because this man left his pregnant wife, and my mom raised my brother Rob, who's 10 years older than me, raised us by herself. And this is when abortion was still legal. My mom could have chosen to to abort me when my father left. But she chose to have me. But she had the fucking choice. What is killing me right now is not that women are using abortion as birth control or which is bullshit because it's not a thing. It's that if you've never been in that situation, you have no right to make a law on it. Because I've had an abortion, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I've also had a child that almost killed me because I made that choice to the doctor said, do I have to save you or the child? And I said, you save the child. You should be able to have a choice. And all the people, now with all the new laws, I worry because I know how much it hurts to have a father that didn't want you. And it's not just me. I mean, let's talk about all the 70s kids and 80s kids and just now. I have a friend whose brother has 7 kids that he never sees. So if we're going to make laws for women, we definitely need to make laws for men that they need to take care of. Okay, so women are being slutty. Well, you think men aren't being slutty? So, okay, well then everybody should be responsible, not just one. And I will get off my soapbox on that one. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. Okay, we'll go with something fun. I can't believe you brought this in. I totally forgot about it. So speaking of my child, I did kind of encourage theft when they were about 12. So I used to do theater. I used to do theater when in my preteen and teen years for a local group called Showstoppers. And when I was 12, I got this award. And then my mom kicked me out when I was 15. Obviously, in a backpack, didn't really have any place to put the award. So it stayed in the house. And 30 years later, 30 years later, I get a phone call from my daughter at school, and I was like, babe, are you okay? Are you sick? Do you need me to come pick you up? No, Mom, just wondering if you did Oklahoma in, what does it say? I can't even keep it. Yeah. You did Oklahoma in no. See, I can't even see it. When I was 12. When I was 12, 1987. There we go. I can do that now. Just wondering if you did Oklahoma in 1987. And I was like, yeah? Well, did you get a trophy for it? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm fucking 35. I don't remember shit. And she said, and guess what is in the back of my high school's, it's one of the trophy things. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? She was like, nope, it says Jody Thomas and yeah, and Showstoppers. And I was like, oh, can you fit that in your backpack? And bless her, she's like, already done, Mom. Yeah, already done, I got it. So for some reason, like, this came back to me, so it's just kind of fun to have around. So that's there we go, that's the fun part. I left my phone over there. Does anybody have a time thing? Because I know I've been talking a lot, but
9:45.
Okay, excellent. Because yeah, so I can do one more and then yeah. Yeah, they only give me an hour and I have a lot of things to talk about. If anybody has ever, well, most of you have, right? Steph, I mean, if you ever want to come on my porch and hang out, we have a lot to talk about. Oh! Alright. Who here has trouble sleeping? Miss Steph. Alright, now Steph, I take the pills and the gummies and the edibles and whatever, but I swear I still 4 hours and I'm awake again. And I feel bad for my husband because he never used to have trouble sleeping, but we've been together so long, you know how sometimes you get each other's traits? Yeah, now he has trouble sleeping as well. But my major problem now is, okay, I get my 4 hours, I'm used to it, and then I wake up every hour, and then, yes, okay, I wake up every hour, and then try and go back to sleep, and a lot of people count sheep. I tried that. I count body pains. Because I'm laying there in bed, and I'm like, ooh, what's that ting? What's that? Ooh, is that a foot cramp? Oh, yeah, my shoulder hurts. And that is not conducive to going back to sleep. And then I just lay there and absolutely lose my mind about, oh God, what is wrong with me? Oh God, do I have to go see the doctor because I have a little bit of a ping right here? No, I can't get sick again. I can't almost die again. I gotta, but I can't get better if I don't go to sleep. And then I'm pacing in my brain to the point where I get obsessed over it, and then I just get up and write things to talk to you guys about. All right, Steph, give me a word. Blue? All right. Well, again, I don't know you guys, but I do have a thing called Confessions of a Party Girl. So usually it's give me a word and I will tell you a story about it. So blue, let me... Oh! This is a shorter story, but it works. So, have you ever been just sitting around your house drinking with a bunch of friends and you decide right after you smack a guy in the face with a tampon because he was being rude that he also needed to get serviced by, not service, that's a bad word. He also needed to get scolded by pulling down his pants and taking a bunch of the little jewels that you get at Walmart and gluing them to his ball sack and making him walk around. and they were all blue. So they were all blue. But this guy with a gigantic green mohawk. This guy with a gigantic green mohawk sass talked to me. And I really think he thought he was gonna get laid, and all the girls that were there were like, "Oh, I don't think you were there that night, Cole."
I think I probably would have remembered that. The extra fancy nuts.
Right. All the girls that were there were just like, "No," but he was like stomping around like, "Look at my glittery ball sack." And we're like, "Yeah, go away."
I actually used to have a picture from that night.
See, I'm not making it up, I
Stuff
swear.
was passed
It is
out, and there was a
100%
picture
true.
of it.
Stephanie wants to know what kind of glue.
Oh, you
Eyelash glue.
No, eyelash glue.
The spirit gum stuff we used to put jewels on. And I'm
Spirit gum, yes.
I'm
Yeah. Well, that's an excellent question.
They come out
I
of
was
the
there.
Yes, the kitty helmet with all
There's a
the.
little box with.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steph, and I don't know your name. I apologize. Rebecca. I used to spank people for money, and I had a clothing line, and so we had a lot of crazy. Oh, is that yes? Anti-vape. Right here.
So, in case you're wondering, nobody was confused about how she would have enough jewels to glue on somebody. Some guy falls flat around in her house. Like, no,
It's because that's what we had all the time.
full of jewels.
All right, one more word. Who's got a word for me? Really?
Too late to use balls.
No.
Chunky.
Chunky? God, you're like TJ with the art bars last night.
Uncle's got here tequila.
Actually, since Cool's here, I'm gonna tell Cool.
Oh no.
No.
Is this a? Never mind. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
No, but we could do good tequila.
Super soaker.
Oh, so we're doing that one? All right.
I wasn't there for that.
Okay, so I'm a bitch. I have a group of friends that are the bitches. We get together on, not as much as we used to because we're getting old, but we used to get together on the regular. Now, that meant no men in the house. Or they had to stay in their rooms. Again, I live with men who don't know how to do dishes. And so they had to stay in the rooms, leave us alone so we could talk about our badges and tampons and all the things we've talked about tonight. And then somebody, I'm not going to name any names, decided that he was going to invade bitch's dinner. So he came in with a super soaker and sprayed us all while we were hanging out. Oh, no, don't worry, Steph, we got it back. Then it became a war. A big war. It became the biggest war Winter Park has ever seen when they want to look at naked women. Because the cops were called because we're running around literally in our bra and panties as far as the girls. The boys are running around, but we're spraying each other with super soakers. But what the boys did not know until a little bit later is that we peed in the super soakers. So we were spraying pee on them. So my friend Mary is going, pee in your face! Ah! While we're trying to steal each other's super soakers from each other. And we're yelling like, and it wasn't that late. It was like midnight, but it was enough yelling. It was enough yelling that obviously the police were called because they thought something bad was happening. And the girls and I locked ourselves into my bedroom, locked the door like, we have to refill. And got a knock on the door from somebody who will remain unmentioned. And he's like, hey, Joan, cops cops are here. And I was like, fuck off, you're not getting me out of here like that. It's bullshit. And he's like, ha, nope, not joking. And then, boom, 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 boom. Miss Thomas, I need to speak to you. And I was like, ooh, let me put some pants on. Speaking of, that is like my favorite phrase. Let me put some pants on. So I was like, oh, let me put some pants on. And then we go talk to the police officers. I was like, no, we're just spraying pee on the boys because they invaded our party. And they were just like, I don't know, but there are, 8 women just in bras and panties. so that's okay. So don't ever mess with me. Don't ever invade a bitch's dinner. Alright, the whole point of all of this, really, the reason I wanted to do it is because I wanted to tell you guys, like, honest things about me, because there's been so much hatred and so much separation in the country lately. And I am a total bitch, but there are reasons for it. And I don't regret a single thing that happened to me or that I did, because it all made me the woman on the stage today. And I really want to see more respect for other people, because every single one of you in this audience is going through your own struggle. You're all going through something. And instead of judging everybody all the time, it might be nice if you said, hey, you look down today. Are you doing okay? Do you need a friend?
Absolutely, and I always get a friend in you.
Or, hey, can I buy you a coffee?
Not this time.
Not in general, right? Or, hey, you're a really old friend and thanks for coming out to support my show. I think my major opinion is that life should be fueled with love instead of judgment and separation. We don't always have to agree. We don't. But that doesn't mean every person doesn't deserve respect, because they all are going through and have lived through things. Just like this coming back to me 20 some years later, things that my daughter never even knew that I did. Maybe listen a little more and judge a little bit less. And that's how I became a bitch like me.